Hello, I'm back. Yesterday, I shared kind of an overarching view of what has changed since I did the software upgrade. And today, I wanted to share in detail everything that has changed because it's been a lot. So much so that I had to make a list. Because at first, I was thinking, well, yeah, like this has changed and that has changed. And then I started to write it down and I was thinking, this is a lot more than I'm even giving attention to. And with a lot of these things, it is really helpful to acknowledge it in your own process because sometimes the change can be so subtle, especially over time, and then it compounds so quickly that all of a sudden you're a new person and you don't even know how it happened. You don't even know. All of a sudden you're just different. So I'm going to go over in detail all the things that have changed since the software upgrade. And when I started the upgrade, I didn't go into it thinking this one thing needs to change or this needs to change. I was just like kind of waving the white flag to the universe. Things need to change. Things need to change because I'm done with this. I'm done. I'm done with how I'm functioning. And I know something else is possible. I know what is possible with rewiring our minds, our nervous systems. So I'm all in. All in. And if you want more about the process of my software upgrade, go back on my reels specifically, and I have them labeled day 1, day 2, or whatnot, so you can kind of see the progression over time. But if not, you can just check out my previous live, and that is kind of a Cliff Notes version. So I'm going to go over my little list here of all the things that have changed. First, I looked at the tangible things, the things that you can hold on to, right? Because then there's also a lot of internal and energetic shifts. So tangibly, I put out a free masterclass before Magnetic Mastery, and I've done this before, and I have never had so many enrollees ever. Okay? So I was like, okay, I'm on to something. And this was an idea that came to me while in the upgrade. Now, a lot of people teach strategy, or they say, well, it's mostly energetics, but it's still strategy. And I'm like, I've done all the strategies, and I can tell you they only work when they are aligned. Hello. When they are aligned with where you're at and what's going to work for you and your journey. Because I've done masterclasses before, but they never did a thing like this. I was in the frequency to receive what was clear for my next steps. That's it. So it dropped in very clearly, why not do a masterclass? To invite people to experience the frequency of this. Okay, cool. Let's see what that does. Oh, okay. This is a thing. I didn't do the market research, if you will, that they say to do. Whenever you're putting something out there, make sure you do some market research. Do some market research to make sure your thing is going to do a thing. I did the masterclass, and I was already creating MM at that point. Which leads me to point 2, which is MM has already been my biggest launch since 2021. 2021. I've been on here a while, before that even, but 2021 was a pretty big year for me. And I've made a lot of pivots and trying to figure it out. Oh, and my thumbsing down. Oh, why that does that. Zoom too. And there was 4 years of continuing to show up, continuing to try, continuing to figure it out, continuing to apply different strategies, continuing on. And to me, this is certainly not a fluke, because back in 2021, there was something magical that happened. A quantum leap, if you will. And there was a lot of visibility for me, a lot of expansion, and my nervous system wasn't ready to hold it. And I get there was probably some unconscious contracting back to preserve the safety. And I get tired of being in that space. So this time, when I intentionally installed the quantum leap, it's different. It's like, well, yeah, of course. Of course. Expand, expand. Circulate, circulate. So once you step in to a different frequency and you embody it, you're not just, oh, I'm going to try this on for size and this doesn't fit. It's not going to stick. But when you embody it, now it's your new normal. It is your new normal. What else? I've going back to the strategy piece. I've seen folks say before, there's a lot of things to do with strategy. One of them being to cold DM a lot of people. Cold DM people in the sense of, hey, want to work with me 101? I'm like, that has never been, I'm not a traditional business girly. I never have been. And I just, something irked me about that. Even when people are like, this works, I'm like, I even tried it on for size internally thinking, okay, what would that look like for me to, and I was like, that's not my reality. My reality is I create, I put my message out there, and the right people come to me. I don't need to go look for them. Doing those cold DMs gives me the ick. Yes. Yeah, same. So I know that if I focus my beliefs and laser focus my energy on that, that is my belief. That's my reality. That's it. That's it. No other options, because I am not doing that. I like to reach out to past clients and say, hey, how's it going? And check in, like that stuff. I don't, but the cold, So I shift and said, no, my belief is people come to me. Not from a like, people come to me. No, just that I put out my energy and people, ooh, that resonates. Let me talk to her. That's it. So now, and funny enough, because I actually just recently closed my one-on-one doors, that was something else that I shifted, was I knew pretty immediately on, within a couple days of the software upgrade, oh, this isn't aligned, this isn't aligned, this is not, like things in my business. Offers I had, price points. And I spoke to current one-on-ones right away and had a conversation saying, all right, this is shifting. What does it look like? How do we want to transition, right? So there is ethical and integral ways to make these changes. There's a lot of advice out there that's like, make big moves, change. You don't need to explain. And while that is partially true, you don't need to justify, you do need to transition things with care, right? Like any relationship, transition them with care. And so whether that's giving some sort of notice and setting some parameters about how it will end. And so that's what I did. Even though one-on-one work has been my biggest financial return over the past couple of years. I was like, I'm just gonna like cut it out right now. I'm just gonna cut it out altogether. Something just, I tweaked it a little bit to be a mentorship, and then something felt off about it still. And so I'm like, I'm closing it off for now, for whatever reason. And I'm trusting that. That's certainty. Certainty isn't, I know exactly what will happen next. Certainty is, I trust the awareness comes as needed. And I trust that I don't need to force things out of scarcity. Because if you have offers right now that are, you're selling anything that's, then it's not going to do the thing. It won't. You'll feel like you're pulling a dead weight. You have to be all in. You have to be. And so as I put myself through the upgrade, it became insanely clear what was aligned and what wasn't. And so what dropped in was, okay, this experience of magnetic mastery, self-paced, go. That's what we're creating. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen. All in. All in. Okay. I'm looking at my list. There were tons of internal and energetic shifts. And I say this because that is where everything starts first. Everything starts with energy first. So I was very excited to feel those internal shifts because I know that then your whole reality changes. So I'm like, oh, it is just about a matter of time before reality is about to really transform, because your reality is always a physical lag of wherever you're functioning from. That is literally the laws of the universe. So when I started to feel good very quickly, I got pretty excited because I was like, this is good. I'm feeling good. So not only did I emotionally feel good, but I got tons and tons of clarity about what next steps to take. And there's a really subtle nuance to this, because while I do function a lot from intuitive pings, it can be so tricky and subtle for your ego to go into, well, shouldn't you do this strategy? Shouldn't you try to figure out what people want? What do your people want? Ask your people what they want and then make it from there. That's the information you get. That's the guidance you get. And so it's very different and subtle to come from, let me figure out what to do, to coming from, oh, this sounds fun to do. This is aligned. Oh, ooh, what will that create? Totally different energies. I was definitely guided to watch this live because I'm at the point of making the shift and moving away from one-on-ones. Oh my gosh, no coincidences. No coincidences. So what if this is your sign? This is your ping. The universe gives us messages all over the place, oftentimes through other people. And if you're having the awareness, what if this is the universe saying, yes, yes. And it's not right or wrong, because I get the sense that 101 could be, again, back in my future to some capacity. Who knows? But at this point, it is saying, not right now. Okay, cool. I'm focusing my energy all in on the current creation. All in. Yesterday I talked about laser focusing your energy. All in. It burns the leaf when you are laser focused. So the exciting part about making these big shifts and having the clarity is that I feel so aligned. God, so deeply aligned with what I'm birthing right now. And I have been seeking this feeling forever. I have done so many trainings, certifications, to find the transformation, the framework that will, the one to rule them all, so to speak, forever. And everything felt like it just didn't quite fit right. You know, like you're trying on someone else's wardrobe, like, oh, it's cute. This is cute, right? But it doesn't, something was off still. And I realized I was just still outsourcing my knowing by continuing to do these certifications, needing more trainings to prove that I was confident enough to teach what I know rather than just teach what I know, right? It's like when you already have the foundation, you don't need more and more and more and more. At some point, you have to synthesize and create from your own channel. And so by doing a pretty intensive consumption fast, if you will, I mean, I eliminated a big majority of consuming other people's input. That purified my channel, along with doing all these processes that I was doing. That combination was like, lit a match to a, pile of gasoline. Because I would wake up at 3 a.m, I still am, getting downloads and clarity. Oh, what about this? What about this piece? Or putting pieces of this puzzle together. Because I was rehearsing who I desired to be. And so the how was coming to me. And that's what I mean about not figuring it out. Because if you're working from the starting line to the finish line, that's the wrong direction. That is the wrong direction. You want to start from the finish line and build it back that way. So it's like, oh, you're having the point of view from the finish line, looking back, and then build it from there. But if you're at the starting line and looking up, totally different. Because I rehearsed who I desired to be, and then it dropped in, create this, and then create this, and then create that. And then it just boop, 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 boop. So that's the alignment. That's truly the alignment, because then it is flowing through you. There is no force. I want to see what's next. I just overall feel so optimistic and better because it feels good to be creating and aligned with what you're making. And I just feel so excited to create this, to create these things as they're being birthed from me. And the big piece of it is teaching my own work. While I've kind of gotten to this place slowly over time, it started off with teaching purely what I was taught from different angles, and then starting to infuse me a little more, to this time being, I have not created anything like this before, ever. If you've been in my world any length of time, then you've probably seen the evolution, but this is different. Because it's purely how I've put all these awarenesses together. I put all the pieces of the puzzle together. And then even the trainings, if you will, within MM are more activations. Because to me, you don't need more information. Yes, some clarity is helpful. Some awareness is helpful. But the tone, the direction, the rewiring, how it's spoken to you. I use a lot of quantum linguistics in there, if you will, to facilitate you being activated just listening to those things, just listening to the trainings, because that's part of it. So I was very intentional about that. Your words resonate with me because I've been holding on to some friendships that do not align with my wavelength. I'd had a scarcity mindset. Thank you for sharing. Yes. And we have to make space for the new to drop in. And usually you go first. Usually, always. You go first. You tell the universe, all right, this or something better, because it's not aligned with who I am anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. I've gotten so much clarity in these last short minutes, but I have to jump off for now. I'll watch later. Amazing. I'm so grateful. So, yeah, I'm looking at another point. A really big shift for me also is not coming from a place of needing to prove or force. I am a flight person naturally, I would say, is my go-to state when I'm not paying attention, not aligned, rather than freeze. And so I can force things. And now, rather than forcing a boulder up a hill, it's like leading and coming from a place of, I keep seeing this, has anyone played Mario Kart? And you know, when you get, I think it's like a mushroom or something, and you turn into this like big old black bullet and you just go really fast. I don't know why that's coming to me. But that was like the vision I kept seeing for myself, was no longer was it this kind of struggle, this uphill battle, but all of a sudden it's like the path is clear and it's full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. And that imagery came to me during visualizations, because initially I was trying to do, like a kind of a traditional visualization, rehearse my future self. And in this experiment, I allowed myself to evolve to whatever it wanted to be. Like if I was paying to sing, I did. If I was paying to dance, I did. If I was paying to do abstract visualizations, I did. So I continue to allow myself to be led in this process. So, and that's what I get about, I'm not forcing, I'm leading. I'm leading the energy. I'm not trying to, it's just like, no, this is what's happening. That's it. This is my reality. That's it. And not this is my reality or else, the bullying kind. No, it was like, this is my reality. Universe, let's go. Let's do it. And being excited. Okay. Let me see if there are any other really poignant transformations for my software upgrade. And let me know if you're having any awarenesses from this so far, if you're having any clarity drop in. Wow. Yeah, there's been some other really big pieces of just allowing things to work out. Again, coming from this force piece, letting that go and coming to the piece of, this is inevitable. This is inevitable. The reality I'm imagining is inevitable. And that's how much you have to rehearse something in order for it to get in the subconscious. Repetition. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's not, I did a cute little meditation one morning on money mindset and now I feel like abundant for 5 minutes. No. All day. Especially during the early days of the software upgrade, it looked like meditation, visualization, journaling. Okay, dance it out. Oh wait, now I'm playing high frequency music on the way to workout. Now I'm doing hot yoga. Now I'm driving home. And I'm either consuming, because I limited very much, consuming to some high frequency focused rewiring pod, or I am rehearsing in my mind the auto suggestions, the future self, I am this person, I am. We wake up, I am. Downtime, eating lunch, I am. That's what it is. Brain washing style. And things shifted so quickly that I almost didn't believe it because it changed so fast. The energy shifted so fast within myself that I had to relook up old experiments that the CIA did to reconfirm that, oh, no, this is like a thing. Brainwashing is real. Subconscious reprogram is real, because I have focused more, I would say, on the mindset piece, which I thought knowing these things was enough. Like, oh yeah, I get it, subconscious rewiring. And yeah, I've done mindset work because it was all intellectualized. Anyone else can relate to this? You're like, yeah, I get this. Getting it up here is not the same as getting it here. It's not. And that's what the software upgrade did for me, was bridge the gap. Because now I'm embodying it. Now I'm being her. And I'm rehearsing her as much as possible. I'm living my life, you know. If you think brainwashing, you think of like someone strapped to a chair and watching a TV all day long, right? We got to live our lives, right? How do you integrate this in a healthy way? But it is that connection. And that's what I struggled with in previous coaching spaces, where it was still intellectualized. Yes, the coach may have had the frequency, but likely they didn't have to install it. They were that naturally, maybe they're a little narcissistic, whatever. They are very magnetic, but if they didn't have to install it, they don't know the mechanism of how to do it. They just know that they are it. If someone is unnatural at something, they haven't had to dissect it like someone who is not. So you simply just aren't as aware because you're in kind of this flow state. It's like, oh, this just works for me. I don't know. You just be it. And that's a lot of the advice I would get. And I'm like, I get it intellectually and I can see you do it, but how do I do it? How do I do it? And so that's where I had to take myself into the lab and figure it out, come up with the scientific equation to figure out the mechanism of this. Because I've learned a lot of different things. And I had to try it on for myself to know how to do it in myself, how to create it in myself, so that I can say with total conviction, this works. If you choose it, it works. Plain and simple. That's it. No proving, no force. Choose it, it works. And I could not say that before about anything else. Not with that level of certainty, ironically. Love this. It always been my heart catching up to my mind. Yeah. Yeah, it's like you feel, I see it, I get it, I see it, I get it, I see you do it. And that's where I was the past couple of years. I'm like, I see, but why do I not be? Be, do, have. You have to do the things. It's not enough to learn. And this is why MM isn't about consuming a ton of info. I was very mindful that, each thing is like a very intensive little laser focused scoop of knowledge, awareness, and then transmission, and then activation. How do I apply this to my life practically? This is something I've always gotten feedback about from clients, is that I can take very abstract ideas, like ideas in the ether, spiritual ideas, and bring them down to a really pragmatic way to apply them to your life. Because let's be real, we're in a human body, okay? I'd love to be a floating orb vibing in space. But the reality is, I need tools of how to do it now in real time, not just make big moves. Just take big action. Do the scary thing. And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Oh, any other transformations that I want to share with you? My decision making, which has felt so good, has become clear now and easy. And I would say that, again, with this certainty stuff, you got to know, especially even when I'm saying unshakable certainty, what I mean is you always have another choice and you always trust in your knowing, which means you might not always have clarity on a next step for something. And that doesn't mean you are like, I don't know. If you're in the energy of, it doesn't have the clarity yet, so I'm going to put that on the back burner and focus over here where the energy is flowing and where there is clarity and leave that to marinate. That's still unshakable certainty. The opposite would be like, I don't know. What do you think we should do? I don't know. Well, maybe I should force something and then maybe try that. You see how the energy is different? So it doesn't mean that you never experience like I want to say, the information of what to do next, or doubt even, because doubt is a very common frequency a lot of people are feeling. And so you're going to tune into that. But the difference is, what do you do with it? What do you allow the doubt to stop you? Do you allow the doubt to contract you? Or do you take action anyways? Do you move forward anyways? Do you not give it life? Because that is a choice. That is always a choice. You can choose to fuel doubt all day long. You want to put your attention there? You're going to get a result that you don't want. Or you, no, not my reality. I don't doubt. It doesn't mean I don't always have total clarity of what the next step is, but I don't doubt. I know that it's going to come to me if it's needed. If there's action for me to take, the clarity will come. That's the difference. I found so much work comes in making learned mentality innate. Yeah. It is pretty funky to function from this metacognition of we're functioning from our own mentality and then we're seeking to function from a new mentality. You're like, but this is real. It's like you got to take a step back. And that's why taking the time to do these processes all day long rather than just allow yourself to be the leaf in the wind changes the whole game, changes everything. So I'm excited to see what else shifts because it's been a lot. It's been a lot. And although I'm already starting to see the tangible results, like the masterclass being the highest enrolled ever, like this being my biggest launch since 2021, and we're not even at the start date yet. Those are tangible things. That's amazing, but it started with the energy first. And I felt it within 48 hours of doing my software upgrade. I'm like, this is going to be massive. This is going to be massive. Energy first, and everything will come from there. That's it. If you feel the pull, that is not random. Because you already know. You already know if MM's for you. I don't need to say, you need this, or you need that, or you need B. No. No. We're all empowered adults here. You know, and then either you function and take action, because that is the certainty, or you don't. That's it. And the folks that have joined already, especially ones that jumped in quickly, jumped and were like, okay, good. It wasn't not scary for them, but they chose it anyway. And a couple of them have been messaging me saying, holy cow, change is already happening for me. I haven't even started yet. What's going on? I'm like, well, yeah, of course, because you chose. You told the universe, I'm doing this. with a convicted, energetic decision, I'm doing this, let's go. And so automatically your trajectory changes, right? It's like flying an airplane. You're going from, I don't know, California to New York. And you're like, you know what? I'd rather go to Florida. Okay, the plane has to change course. It's the same thing with choosing that. And so the frequency will already wash over you with the choice. How does it get better than that? It starts immediately. And then there is the processes in there to facilitate you taking this step by step by step. Everything that I went through, experimented, every awareness, I synthesized it, integrated it, and organized it in a way so you don't have to do that. So you don't have to do that. We start Monday. That's it. If you have any questions about it, feel free to DM me. I'm happy to clarify anything for you. And I'll see you next time.